Camera blur. Okay, there we go. There we go. What's good with y'all? I figured I'd do another inspirational video to inspire people out there. This is going to be video part 2. Yesterday I had to cut the video kind of short, but anyways, I'm going to continue with the inspirational speech out there to the ones that feel like you don't fit in with anybody. Getting back to the messages, because your energy is changing. Your frequency is uplifting. You having an awakening of the third eye, and that's not a crime, okay? So a lot of people out there is not going to understand you because you are raising your frequency. You're becoming enlightened to what's going on around you. This is going to be video part 2 of what I was saying yesterday. Why you feel like you don't fit in with a crowd of people. You don't roll around in groups. People out there are trying to project something onto you as to make you feel like you're lost, but you're really not. You're starting to find yourself. And this right here is going to be projections of other people's insecurities, because when you find yourself, that right there is going to trigger them in a certain kind of way that you possibly can't understand because you don't have anybody around you to understand you on that level. But what's happening is you're becoming spiritually aware. You're becoming energetically aware of your surroundings. And that's exactly what's transforming. So in reality, when these people are looking at you like you're crazy, you're really not. They are literally looking at somebody that is going to become something that's great. And this is something that you may not see yet because you're not fully awakened to that extent. But I'm going to tell you right now, bro, once you start moving into your power like that, you feel that energetic shift, that's when you're going to become something great out there. And this is going to scare a lot of people. A lot of people is going to fear how far you could come out there. You always got people in your ear telling you, you can't do this, you can't do that. You can do anything that you want to do. That's the facts. How can these people be in control or know what your destiny is when they're not the soul behind that vessel? How can these people tell you what you can and can't do, or what you're capable of or what you're not capable of? Same thing as can and can't do. How can they have the ability to predict something when they're closed-minded? That's the facts. These individuals have opinions. It's never a fact. Opinion is they think that it's facts that they're speaking because that's the reality that they live in. How in the hell can somebody predict and live your reality for you? That's the facts. I'll be dropping some information in this video. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to get people amped up because that's what needs to happen. You need to be amped up. It's not about amping up the ego. It's about amping up the soul. Because you ain't never had nobody in your ear telling you how great you really are. You always have people in your ear doubting you and telling you this stupid shit, but nah, enough of that. You need somebody in your face that's gonna lift you up. That's gonna tell you this is what's gonna happen. This is what's gonna manifest. You get out there and you do it. You get out there and you go against the grain. That's what you do. You don't care what people got to say about you, because I'm gonna tell you something right now, bro. When you're a people pleaser, you ain't gonna get nowheres in your life. Because you think at the end of the day that they really care about you. They really don't. Believe it or not, when you walk into a room full of people and you feel some type of way about yourself, don't you know they got other people in there that is looking at themselves the same way? So why sit there and let that affect you? Walk in a room, not in an egoistic way, but walk in a room as if that's your house. Because you're already living inside the most accurate house of all time, your body. Your body could be used as a vehicle and a home. So it's basically like a camper that is on wheels. They call them a Winnebago. So you basically have a home and you have a vehicle all at one time. Because you could transport, okay, you could, not transport, you could use your vessel as transportation, but you can also use it as a home, right? So you have a house on wheels. So wherever you walking in out there, is that building really the building that you're living in or you're walking in? Because you're already at home. When you're inside the body, you're already at home. So why feel uncomfortable in walking into a thing that don't even matter? That's the facts. Why I feel uncomfortable, I'm going to tell you what this is. It's the illusion of insecurities that gives off that frequency. It's the illusion of insecurities that give off the frequency as if you're not meant to be in that building. How can these people determine if you're not meant to be in that building or not? Why give off that type of energy? Because I'm going to tell you right now, bro, whenever you connected to yourself, you connected to your soul, your spirit, okay? You connected to a higher level of consciousness. Excuse me, y'all. I keep getting sweat in my eye. Kind of hot out here. But anyways, whenever you are connected to yourself, which are representing your spirit, and you connected to a higher level of consciousness, the minute you step in that building, you're not going to be fearful of what people got to say about you, how they look at you, because you look at yourself as, I'm an energy inside the vessel. I'm not this body. I am not this body. This body is just a piece of meat, because that's really all it is. I'm not saying that to just stop taking care of yourself as to just let your body go to shit. No. You have to take care of your vessel as if you would your spirit. And this is what people lack in these times, which is why depression is occurring and it's getting stronger and deeper out there. But are you really depressed? Question that, because this is what Jim Carrey said in one of his interviews, okay? I paid attention to what he was saying. Depressed sounds like deep rest. Deep rest. Your body getting tired, bro. That's what he was trying to tell people. And people couldn't understand where he was coming from, but I did. Jim Carrey got a Scorpio rising. He's a Capricorn. And a lot of people view him as, he don't know what he's talking about, but he really does. He literally said something along those lines about depression, because he went through that. So is he really telling lies or not? He's telling the truth. He's actually one of the ones that actually woke up and was seeing what was really going on out there. But at the same time, I'm going to just use that as an example. Depression. Because if you really say it slowly, depressed, deep rest. If you pronounce it like that, deep rest. Sounds like deep rest if you separate it. But that's exactly what the world is trying to do you. Separate you. But that's a good thing. Because why would you want to be following everybody else whenever you got your own personal characteristics? You got your own talents. You have your own vessel. You have your own spirit. You have your own way of doing things out there. Why be like everybody else? Why let everybody else water you down? But I'm going to tell you what the most important thing is when it comes to watering yourself down. But this could be used in a positive way. I consider watering yourself down as the best way to grow. But not in a negative way to where you completely just sell your character or push your character off to the side. What I mean is taking care of yourself and watering yourself down the proper way, because when you water a plant, it continues to grow, right? If you starve a plant, it's going to eventually shrivel up and die. So if you want to water yourself down the proper way and educate yourself the proper way, then that's what's going to help you expand and cause an expansion of a heightened level of consciousness. And you hear how the birds are getting louder and louder and louder. That's your ancestors. So if you hear a lot of birds chirping, that could be messages. Always pay attention to your surroundings, especially when it comes to nature. Because believe it or not, nature has all the healing sources and properties that you can look for. It's right there. Y'all gotta excuse me, y'all. My sweat keeps on getting in my damn eyes, bro. But anyways, it is kind of hot out here. But at the same time, when it comes to Mother Nature, she has the healing source. The most healing things that you can find is within the plants and animals. Because think about it, whenever you have an animal, don't you feel more protected and safe around them than you do an actual human? I'm going to tell you what that is. That's Mother Nature. That's Mother Nature that makes you feel that way. Pay attention to how well you can breathe, how calm your spirit really is whenever you're around a bunch of trees, grass, a bunch of plants, trees in the woods. Pay attention to how your spirit feels whenever you're around a bunch of birds. You can hear them chirping like that. You can hear them sing. Sometimes they'll be singing. They're trying to sing you a message. Don't let anybody out there call you crazy, bro, because ancestors use birds and animals to get through to you. That's exactly what they do. You see how they doing that? That's a message right there. Pay attention to that. Don't let anybody out there call you crazy that the birds are trying to tell you something. If you're a spiritual person, you're going to understand Mother Nature at its finest and to its core, to its fullest, to the core. You're going to understand what it's trying to tell you. Because believe it or not, a lot of people out there are scared of animals. They're scared of lions. I walk straight up to a lion and put my hand out like that, let them sniff me, let them lick my hand, and actually pet that lion. Because it's not the lion that is dangerous. It's if you bring fearful energy around it, or if you're a bad person, that lion gonna get crazy. Just like people claim dogs are evil. I call bull crap. Dogs are not evil. I don't care if it's a pit bull. I don't care what it is. It could be the meanest, baddest dog that may look like it on the surface level. But if you know how to blend in with its frequency and show it that you're not there to hurt him, he's going to pick that up. He's going to pick that up and he's not going to hurt you. They could have a rare percentage of cases out there where they attack for no reason, but the majority of the time, that's not the truth. It's all in who you are on a soul, spiritual level, you know what I'm saying? Just like some people out there, they fear lions. They fear dogs, okay? They fear whatever it is out there to do in an animal. But if you really know how to read that animal's frequency, just like a wolf. Some people out there are scared of wolves. Why be scared of a wolf? Wolves are more terrified than you are of them. But if you show them that, hey, the opposite of the frequency, then that's when it's going to trigger their flight or fight response. They work exactly like a human. Because when you got somebody that comes around you with deceptive energy, what you think you're going to react? How you think you're going to react about that? It's going to give off a negative reaction. Because you sense that something is wrong somewhere. You sense that something is off. That's the same type of instinct these animals have. Because they sense something wrong somewhere. So therefore, it's going to push them into a flight or fight response. But once you understand how Mother Nature works when it comes to animals, even though you may not understand them on a physical level, from your physical hearing, spiritual hearing, when you spiritually listen to them, it's going to be a message that you're going to understand on a spiritual level. And the type of energy that I'm getting right now from the birds chirping like that, I'm getting a very peaceful, calm energy. Because believe it or not, they could give off messages of a warning. But what I'm getting right now is they're trying to tell you, trying to give off a warning in a good way to tell you that everything is going to be okay. So whatever is going on behind the scenes, that is deceptive. The higher power is going to be watching over you. That's how he works in spiritual people's favor. So if anybody out there is trying to say this about you, trying to say that about you, the truth's going to come out. That's not your character. I promise you. A lot of people out there is worried about what this one is saying, what that one is saying, what this one is saying. Let them talk all the crap in the world that they want, because eventually you're going to be seen for who you really are. Because the real truth tellers out there, their energy shines through anything out there. It shines through. These people out there, I'm going to tell you something right now. Hold on, y'all. These people out there, it's my damn glasses doing that. But anyways, these people out there that are roaming around and doing all this and talking all this nonsense, you don't have to worry about them. Worrying is a low vibrational energy. Worrying ain't going to get you nowhere. Worrying is just going to lower your vibration even more. Worrying and stressing about the wrong things is going to exactly attract that type of frequency. Because you fear, like what you fear, what is that saying? You attract what you fear. That's the truth. In some scenarios out there, it's the truth. You attract what you fear. So therefore, you have to work on those fear tactics. Whatever you're scared of, you have to work through that and clip it from the roots. Therefore, you're not going to attract it anymore. Just like some people are afraid of getting hurt. Why you think people are continuously getting hurt? Because they haven't healed. Man, you got to walk around out there as I say that, man, ain't nothing can hurt me. Whenever you go through those type of transformations, which there's always going to be pain lingering out there, like you always are going to be put at a situation where you could possibly end up hurt if you get in a relationship. But if you walk around out there fearing that you're going to get hurt, that's exactly what's going to happen. You have to go out there and believe that you're protected. Not become naive that pain doesn't exist, but you're going to attract more positivity than the negativity. That's the facts. Because your frequency is changing on an energetic soul level. Your frequency is definitely changing. So therefore, you're not going to have the time of day to sit there and worry about that. Because worrying is going to get you absolutely nowhere. I'm going to tell you where the most success comes from. Believing in yourself, believing in that somebody out there is going to treat you good and you're the greatest. But you have to be the greatest. You can't just believe in yourself whenever you have a negative attitude or walking around out there and being negative all the time. No, you're not going to attract anything like that. You have to believe in yourself and believe that something great is going to come your way because you're already great within yourself. So we have to work on ourselves first and master ourselves. It's all about self-mastery. Then comes the rest. Once you can master yourself, then the rest will follow along with it. You don't have to go out there and try. You don't even have to put yourself out there. I don't care what kind of videos out there people are watching, man. I'm not going to sit there and talk about relationships. But people in these times, man, need to focus on themselves to see what's really going on the inside. Because if you truly meant to be with somebody, you are both going to attract each other without even trying. You don't have to go out there and strike off a conversation and listen to all these other people trying to coach you how to be in a relationship. Nah, fuck that. Because I don't believe in trying to coach somebody how to be in a relationship. It's either comes natural or you just ain't suited for it. You should be able to live your life, and if it happens, it happens. You shouldn't have to be coached on how to be in a relationship. Now you could receive tips on how to get over a heartbreak and how to get over somebody. I'm gonna tell you the fastest way how to get over somebody. Start focusing on spirituality. Start focusing on the third eye. Go look up information on the third eye, the pineal gland. Start doing scientific research on the pineal gland. Research the cortex, the cerebral cortex. Research that. Start looking up ancient aliens because they got a lot of information on there too. That's much more deeper than this. They get to the bottom of things. Not to say it that it's all the truth, but yet at the same time, bro, if you really listen to it, it's going to be speaking facts. So they got some of the information out there that a lot of these powers are ancient that has been kept from us. Especially when it comes to the pineal gland. They explain the third eye, what the third eye is really about. They say that it's a connecting source that connects us to basically everybody out there. And the pineal gland was inserted inside the brain in order to achieve information from higher realms out there. That's the facts. Why you think that you have these visions long before something happens? Why you think that you have foresight on something? Foresight is all about psychic seeing. Seeing things in the future before they even arrive. I'm going to tell you what that is. You're time traveling with the spirit. So you're spiritually, energetically ahead of the physical dimensional time. Because time is an illusion. Even though they may call it time traveling, I consider it spiritual traveling. Because whatever exists in the spirit world is not the same as the physical. It's not the same, but it gives off kind of similarities in between. If that sounds kind of what's that word? It's kind of contradicting itself, but at the same time, that's the way I perceive that information. Because if you have the ability to time travel and to see things before they even happen, then how the hell is that happening? That's not coming from the physical form of the body. That's not coming from the physical vessel or the physical mind, because the physical mind only has a limited perspective. The average person can only use 10% of the brain. A genius is using 13% of it, if I'm not mistaken. And if you can activate more than 13% of the brain, bro, you're a powerful person. That's where intellectual knowledge comes from. So if you can activate and open up those parts of the mind, you are going to become consciously aware and raise your level of consciousness to the extremes. So the average person out there, I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, it could be off. The information could be off when I say this. The certain amount of percentage, I want to say it's 10% of the brain that the average person out there is using. A highly intellectual person that is above average of intelligence and knowledge, I want to say is using 13%, or I could be off. But I definitely know something about 10% of the brain and you got 13%. But if you are activating higher levels than 13% of the brain, then you're considered a mastermind. You're really not operating all the human form of the brain like people think you are, because you're not getting that information from the human brain. The human brain only holds a limited perspective of information. Coming from my own personal research, like how I meditate, how I get answers from my higher self, this is what it retrieves. This is the type of information I retrieve. Whenever I take walks in nature, I listen to birds, I listen to things in my surroundings, because it strengthens my psychic abilities even more. because everything is a message to me. Like, I don't look at everything as if it's a negative sign. I mean, it could be, okay? But whenever it comes to this type of information, you have to just be energetically aware and to discern what's really going on between the frequencies. Because everything out there is a frequency. The ground, the minute you put 2 feet on the ground, you're walking on some type of frequency. And if you're energetically in tune and heightened, you have a high level of frequency going on. You know what frequency and energy is. You will be able to feel it. If it's a blah day, you're going to be able to feel it energetically. A blah day means a boring day. Very chilled, laid back day. Like a rainy day, for instance, the energy don't feel that high vibrational because everything is calm and relaxed. So in reality, it's not a bad day. People consider rainy days boring, but that's the day to where you could get the most meditation done. If you want to meditate on something, take a step outside, bro. Let that rainwater hit you. Because I'm going to tell you a little secret about rainwater. That's the most healing water that can ever hit your body a day in your life. Stand outside in the rain. As long as it's not lightning. It could be thunder, but lightning, you got to watch that. So I will put advisory out there. Just be aware. If it's lightning, don't go outside. But at the same time, if you're just hearing thunder, that's fine. But usually when there's thunder, there may be lightning somewhere, okay? But at the same time, being very specific here. If you go outside while it's raining, even if there's no thunder or lightning, sit there and let the rain hit you. Let the rain hit you. Spread the water inside your skin like that. Rub the water in your skin, the rainwater. Like, act like you're taking a shower in it. And just sit out there for a little while. Especially if it's a hot day like this, just sit out there. Let the rain hit you. And if for some reason the sun comes back out, let the sun dry that water up on your vessel. Because you just took a spiritual bath right there. That's the real spiritual bath when you step outside when it's pouring down raining. Even if the clouds are dark, it don't matter. That's still rain. It's coming from Mother Earth. It's Mother Nature. So therefore, you're going to cleanse your aura. That's a specific way to cleanse your aura. Step outside whenever it's pouring down raining. You can cleanse your aura like that. When you tend to go outside, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about grounding. When it comes to grounding, I don't have an earth sign a day of my life in my chart. I do have 2 Capricorn signs, but that's all. But I'm going to tell you a little bit about grounding because earth energy is all about grounding. Maybe there's a Capricorn watching me somewhere, but I do have 2 Cappy signs in my chart, which is Capricorn, which is the goat. But anyways, when it comes to grounding, make sure that when you walk outside barefooted. Get on the ground, let your feet hit the ground, and get in the dirt. Like sit there like this, and with your bare feet like that, and just sit there and just stand. And what the earth is going to do is it's going to balance you out by pulling down all that negative energy. It's going to suck it into the earth's platelets like that. Because there's a strong magnetism underneath this ground right here. It's called something to do with magnetism. It's the earth's magnetism that will literally pull energy through your feet like that. And when it's pulling on your feet, it's grounding you on the inside. It's aligning all your chakras like that. When it comes to sun gazing, you have to be careful about this because some of y'all eyes may be sensitive, so I wouldn't advise this. I'm not going to sit there and be responsible for anybody that does this, but I will tell you before you do this, look up information on sun gazing, okay? Sun gazing is a spiritual practice that I want to say the Indians used to do back in the day. A lot of people used to do this. I used to do this back in the day whenever I was a spiritual guru on my other YouTube channel. But it was like I wasn't getting anywhere with that because I wasn't spiritually in tune. And it's like, I don't really know what happened to my last channel, but it's like, I started getting to the point where it's like, man, ain't nobody paying attention, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, that was magic interfering with me back then. And that's something I uncovered. But now that I stepped into my power and I know what all that is, that's not gonna affect me anymore. But what I'm gonna tell y'all is when it comes to sun gazing, and that's when I first started my spiritual journey. This was 2020. You know, I had about 387 subscribers. I'm like, I just closed my channel down. That was magic manipulating me. But at the same time, this is what I uncovered whenever I started this channel. And I started to uncover through my spiritual gifts and my tarot cards. And I'm like, oh, I know how to protect myself now. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, when it comes to sun gazing, you have to be very careful when it comes to that. The best part of the day, if you want to get involved with doing that, is considered a spiritual practice to cleanse and to decalcify your third eye, which is the pineal gland. The best time to sun gaze is early in the morning. I want to say about 7 o'clock, when the sun starts coming up above the horizon, when it's still orange. Do not do it when the sun is yellow. You want to make sure that sun is orange, okay? And what you do is you just look at it like that. And a lot of people will say it's not safe, but you can look at the sun if it's orange, okay? People may have different opinions out there, but I did it plenty of times, all right? And it actually does help your vision. It helps cleanse and detoxify your pineal gland, okay? But for the ones out there that are not comfortable with doing that, you don't have to do that, okay? You just sit in the sun like this with shades on, or to just sit there and let it hit the top of your head, okay? It's gonna create the same effect. But when it comes to sun gazing, that's exactly what that is. You can look up information on that. It's called sun gazing. They also have a thing as moon gazing, where you gaze into the moon and you adapt its energy. That's to help balance out your emotions, okay? But there is a such thing as a spiritual practice called sun gazing. You can look up the information. You will gain a lot of benefits from it, but I will put this out there. You have to be aware, because if you have sensitive eyes, you don't want to be doing that, okay? But you could just go out in the sun and sit there and just let the sun hit your body like this. You know what I'm saying? You can even take your shades off. Let the sun hit your face like that. Just don't look at it. You know what I'm saying? But if you do want to sun gaze, make sure the sun is bright orange, okay? It's got to be bright orange, almost damn near red, before it goes down below the horizon, like how you see it setting like that and it's going down. You want to make sure it's not yellow like that. You want to make sure it's orange, okay? That's when it would, because that's when I consider it to be the safest, okay? But for some people out there, that's not the case, okay? So I will put the advisory out there. It's called sun gazing, all right? Just make sure you're not out there in the mid part of the day doing that, even when it's like this in the sky, okay? Even though you could barely see it, you don't want to do it like that. You want to make sure that sun is bright orange or close to damn near being red, okay? Where it's setting below the horizon, like you can still see half of it. Put it to you like that, like you could just get half of it. Right before it got, like right after halfway it sets on the horizon, you can see half of it. That'd be the best time to catch it right there, because it's not strong at all. That the rays are not hitting like that. But when it's in the sky, the rays of it's very powerful. The sunlight rays, but the rays of sunlight, that will get you, you know. But that is a spiritual practice that some people out there may be doing behind the scenes that probably haven't said anything. There's a lot of information I haven't given yet, you know, that I haven't spoken about yet. But I did obtain this information from doing spiritual practices back in the day, you know. And something led me to be a tarot card reader, which is what I did. You know, I started walking back here. I started finding white feathers. And I started seeing a bunch of angel numbers, and I was guided to get my first tarot deck, which was in, I want to say it was it 20? Yeah, it was 2020. 2020, I got them in August of 2020. And don't you know, I pulled the star card when I got them. I said, what does my future look like? And I pulled the star card. Don't you know the star represents the public eye? And that was my very first tarot deck too. And I didn't know what that was. Like, I knew it was a good energy, but I didn't think I would get that far, bro. I'm telling you. But those cards, it showed the star. I still have it on my Facebook. I uploaded that on my Facebook page in August of 2020. The star represents the public eye. I'm going to be shining like a star. God was trying to tell me, you need to be in the public eye. You don't need to be where people can't see you. You need to be where everybody can see you, son. You have one hell of a gift out there. And he woke me up to see who was doing magic on me, and I completely detached from all those people, because they was the ones putting magic on my last channel. Which it wasn't a tarot card channel. It was just a regular spirituality. But that's when I first started learning about spirituality. I wasn't advanced like I am now. And that's when I uncovered a lot about black magic, what it really does, what witchcraft really does, same thing, hexes, curses. That shit is real, bro. Like, okay, you don't have to feed into it, but it is real, though. Okay, if you're not protected from it, it will affect you. Especially on the naive people out there. They're wondering why things are happening, and they can't explain it. It's because somebody is trying to chain you down spiritually. Because if somebody could chain you down spiritually, it will physically manifest. And that's exactly what will happen through other people's vessel out there. You always wonder why you're getting rejected from everything out there. You always run into some type of problem. It's because there's an energy manipulating you in the spirit world, and it's manifesting on the physical level. because you're not telling these energies, hey, you do not have my permission or my consent to be doing this to me. You have to stand your ground and show your spiritual authority. That's exactly what the fuck I did. I stood up to all of them, bro, and I broke loose of all of that. Because, believe it or not, y'all, I was to the point where I was wrapped on the ground, where God showed me I was chained up like that, but I wasn't chained up all the way. Because he still gave me a little bit of slack to break loose of that motherfucker and spring back to my feet. He said, you ain't done. I'm going to just let them think that they got you down like that. Bam! I come back like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's why they mad. And one of these people that put magic on my last channel is one of the ones that has been stealing my identity and slandering me to other people out there that I've been exposing in my reads here recently. That's the same person that did that to me on my last channel. You can't prove it, but I'm telling you, bro, he showed me a vision of it. That's exactly why I shut my last channel down. But at the same time, I'm not worried about none of that. But I'm just giving y'all some information on where I got this from, you know what I'm saying? Because sun gazing, that is real. Moon gazing, that's real. They have, what is that other spiritual practice? All I know is the ancient Indian, like the Indians back in the day, even the Egyptians, that like the Egyptians used to use the sun, something about the sun. If you ever look at the pyramids, they already got the sun in the background. It's a yellow background because the sun has a lot to do with it. You got the eye of Ra, the eye of Horus, Ra and Horus. There's a lot to do with that type of information. Because if you really take it apart and you do your scientific research on the human brain, you look at the cerebral cortex or the not really the cerebral cortex. If you look at the hypothalamus and you look at the eye of Horus, you're going to spot a lot of similarities. You put them side by side like that, you're going to spot a lot of similarities. Why is that? Why is that? Because if you look at the eye of Horus, which is right here, if you look at the eye of Horus, why would it be shaped in the shape of the hypothalamus, which is in the human brain? It's in the mid part of it. Right before you get to that pineal gland. This is what I would consider the pineal gland right here. That dot, which is the eye, the pupil. And I'm going to tell you right now, bro, once that sunlight, how can I explain this? It's just retrograde, y'all. Y'all just going to have to bear with me. If you ever sun gaze out there, or some of you have been involved in spiritual practices as far as sun gazing, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. When the sunlight hits the eyes, the urethra, however you say that, not urethra. What the hell is that word? I think I'm saying it right. No, your retina. That's what it is. Your retina. Something to do with your retina. It's not going to damage that. If you do it at the proper time, to those out there that has been sun gazing for a long time, you will know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to your retina. Okay. What the sunlight does is it goes beyond that and it goes straight to the pineal gland right here. But just like I said, you could do it without even looking at the sun. And it can still cleanse you out because you are doing a spiritual cleansing whenever you sweat like that. You see how I'm sweating and the sunlight's hitting my head? That's all the calcifying the pineal gland through sweat like that. But that's exactly what that is. I was about to say your retina, but it's not your retina, no. Not your retina, no. Not your retina, it's the retina. That's what that is. Your retina. I want to say I'm right on that. It's something to do with your eyes, the retina. But that's mainly all I wanted to tell y'all, you know. Give y'all some information on the pineal gland. Give y'all some information on why things are happening the way they are. Why you feel out of place from everybody. It's because of those exact reasons. You know? But anyways, y'all take it easy out there. Much love to y'all. Trying to see if I could channel more messages as I walk up and down like that. Is there anything else I need to channel, St. Michael? Is there anything else I need to channel? Holy Spirit, give me more messages. St. Michael the Archangel, protect my energy as I give these messages. Holy Spirit, protect me with the hedge of protection. Thank you very much. No weapon that is formed against me shall prosper spiritually, energetically, mentally, or physically. Amen. Is there any more messages that I need, Holy Spirit, to deliver? I'm not really getting nothing. No, that's the end of the message, y'all. Okay? They're trying to tell me, collect your energy, pull your energy back in. Okay, well, I call all my energy back in before I get off this video. I call all my energy back in and return all energy that's not mine to the sender. I reject all evil intentions, return back to the sender, while I pull my energy all the way back in 100,000%. May it be closed off and sealed as I end this message. But anyways, y'all take it easy out there. Much love to y'all. If y'all want to leave any donations, I will have a link in the description box below. But just like I said, just take my advice. I will give off a strong advisory message when it comes to that type of spiritual practice when you sun gaze, okay? But I advise y'all to do y'all research on it, okay? But to those who already know what it is, what sun gazing is, you already know that it's not dangerous at all because you already been used to it. You already did it plenty of times. And you know the exact time of day to do it, which is early in the morning and late in the evening. The best times to get it. I want to say around 7:30 at night, like right when that sun is halfway below the horizon like that, whenever it's showing like a split like that, where the bottom half is below the horizon and you got the other half that is still showing itself, you know. But that's considered spiritual practice, that sun gazing. A lot of people may know that information, but if you don't, you could do your research and it's going to come back that I'm telling the truth about sun gazing. You just got to be very careful and cautious when it comes to your eyes, you know, because that is a very bright light. So if you have sensitive eyes, I wouldn't recommend doing that. But to those of you out there that want to give it a shot, or to those that's been practicing that, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's what the ancient Egyptians used to do. The Indians used to do it as a spiritual practice back in the day too. They would sit there and meditate, sit there in meditation stance, or they would sit in meditation position and they would focus on the sun. So anyways, y'all take it easy out there. Much love to y'all. If you want to leave any donations out of generosity, I will have a link in the description box below. I'm glad that I could provide this type of information for y'all. And I figured I'd give y'all a little spiritual tips out there, okay? So much love to y'all, and I will see y'all some other time. Peace.